All right, strap yourselves in, because today we are going deep with Itzhak Bentov.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is seriously mind-blowing.
Absolutely.
He explored the evolution of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
the nature of reality,
Yeah.
like the big stuff.
The big stuff.
We're going to be looking at excerpts from a YouTube video interview
Okay.
where he just lays out some pretty wild ideas.
What I find so fascinating about Bentov is how he blends science and mysticism.
Yeah.
He's not just like, speculating.
Right.
He actually designed instruments
What?
to study things like Kundalini awakening,
Wait, you're telling
a concept from Eastern tradition.
He built like gadgets to
Yeah.
measure mystical experiences.
Yes.
Okay, I am intrigued. I am so in. Tell me more. Where do we even begin with someone like Bentov?
Well, I think a good place to start is with his idea of the evolving nervous system.
Okay.
He uses this really interesting bell curve analogy
Okay.
to explain how consciousness is distributed among us humans.
Okay.
Picture a bell curve.
Yeah. All right.
I got it.
Most people cluster around the average level of consciousness.
So like some folks are a bit ahead, some a bit behind, most kind of in the middle.
Exactly.
Okay.
But here's the kicker.
Okay.
Bentov believed that some individuals are way ahead on that curve.
Okay.
Their nervous systems are evolving faster, allowing them to perceive reality in a completely different way.
Okay.
Imagine our senses are like a narrow slit
I like that.
through which we view reality.
Okay.
Most of us have the same size slit.
So like these advanced folks, they have a wider slit.
Precisely.
Okay, got it.
They're seeing more of the picture.
Yeah.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because someone with a wider view of reality might be labeled a genius
Oh,
or even mentally ill,
oh, well,
simply because their perceptions are so far ahead of the norm.
that's kind of unsettling, right?
Yeah.
Like what determines whether someone's a visionary or just like out there?
Right.
Bentov uses the example of St. Paul's vision of Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Back then, it was considered a miracle.
Yeah.
Today, that same experience might be interpreted very differently,
Yeah.
maybe even pathologized.
Right, like they need to be medicated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how much our interpretation of reality shapes our understanding of these experiences.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
So according to Bentov, we've got these evolving nervous systems.
Right.
Some are ahead of others. What else is he saying about how our consciousness works?
Well, this is where it gets really mind-bending.
Hit me.
Bentov suggests that it's not we who have souls,
Right.
but souls that have us.
Whoa, hold on a sec.
Yeah.
So you're saying the soul's calling the shots? We're just along for the ride.
That's the idea.
Oh, okay.
It raises some really big questions about the nature of existence, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. If the soul is the permanent aspect, what does that mean for life, death, and just this whole journey of consciousness?
Exactly.
It's a lot. So how does he visualize this soul-body relationship?
Well, he uses a diagram
Okay.
showing different levels of existence.
Okay.
The physical, the soul, the higher self, and the spiritual. Think of it like layers of an onion.
Okay.
On the physical level, we appear separate.
Yeah.
But as you move up through the layers, we become increasingly interconnected.
So the more evolved we become, the more we realize our interconnectedness.
Exactly.
Ow.
And here's the truly mind-blowing part.
Okay.
Bentov suggests that we're all evolving towards Godhood,
Okay, now we're talking.
becoming omnipresent and interwoven with all of creation.
Wow.
It's like we're all overlapping,
Yeah.
merging into one big cosmic soup.
All right, so if we're all becoming godlike, does that mean everyone is on the same, spiritual timeline?
Well, Bentov believed that practices like meditation can accelerate the process.
Okay.
But ultimately, he saw it as an inevitable journey.
So we're all on this cosmic escalator, whether we realize it or not.
That's a good way to put it.
That's kind of how I'm seeing it now. I'm picturing an escalator to godhood.
I love it.
Now, I remember you mentioned earlier that Bentov wasn't just a mystic.
Okay.
He was a scientist, too.
Yes.
How does that play into all of this?
Right. He was incredibly interested in understanding the mechanics of consciousness,
Yeah.
how these mystical experiences actually work on a physical level. Remember the Kundalini awakening we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
He wanted to study it scientifically.
He built gadgets for that, right?
He did.
What exactly was he trying to measure?
He developed what he called the Kundalini syndrome model.
Okay.
He believed that during Kundalini awakening, a harmonious 7 hertz vibration arises in the body.
Hold on, 7 hertz.
Yes.
Isn't that the same frequency as the Earth's electromagnetic field?
Yes.
Is he suggesting that we are literally vibrating in sync with the planet?
That's exactly what he's proposing.
Wow.
He believed that this state of resonance allows the body to connect not just to the Earth,
Okay.
but potentially to the entire solar system.
And beyond.
It's like our individual frequencies are tuning into a much larger cosmic orchestra.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So this Kundalini awakening is basically like widening that perceptual slit we talked about earlier, allowing us to experience a much broader reality.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what we perceive as possible
Yeah.
and tapping into a much vaster field of consciousness.
Okay, so we've got evolving nervous systems, souls driving the show,
Right.
and this Kundalini energy connecting us to a larger cosmic reality.
Yes.
I'm starting to get a sense of the interconnectedness that Bentov is talking about.
Good.
But what about the universe itself? How does that fit into all of this?
Well, Bentov didn't just stop at the human level.
Okay.
He had some pretty groundbreaking ideas about the structure of the universe
Okay.
and how it relates to consciousness.
Hmm?
He even proposed an alternative model to the Big Bang Theory.
Now we're going deep.
Yes.
So what was Bentov's take on the universe and how it all began? Well, he envisioned a universe that is constantly in motion,
Okay.
constantly evolving and refining itself.
Okay.
And to understand his model, we need to look at a shape you might not expect.
What's that?
The torus.
The what?
The torus.
Like a donut.
Yep, a donut.
Okay.
But a cosmic donut, of course.
Obviously a cosmic donut. So we're talking about a universe that is continuously cycling,
Exactly.
creating and destroying in a never-ending flow of energy and matter.
Precisely.
A cosmic donut that's constantly recycling itself. I am already intrigued.
I knew you would be.
And I'm guessing this ties back to his ideas about consciousness somehow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bentov saw a deep connection between the structure of the universe and the evolution of consciousness.
Okay, so we've got to come back for part 2
We do.
of this deep dive to explore more.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
All right, welcome back. Last time we were exploring Itzhak Bentov's ideas, and let me tell you, my brain is still buzzing.
I know, right?
We talked about evolving nervous systems.
Yeah.
The role of the soul, and even Kundalini energy vibrating in sync with the earth.
Right.
It was a lot.
It was.
And we left off with the tantalizing hint of Bentov's model of the universe.
Yes. We did a cosmic donut.
Right.
He called the torus.
Okay, so let's dig into that.
Sounds good.
What exactly is this torus, and how does it work?
Well, first, let's set the stage. We all know the Big Bang Theory, right?
Yeah, the universe starts as a tiny point and explodes outward.
Right, expanding in all directions.
That's the classic explanation, but
Yeah.
Bentov had a different take.
His model was inspired by observations of quasars,
Quasar.
those incredibly bright and distant objects,
Okay.
thought to be powered by supermassive black holes.
And how did quasars lead him to a different model?
Well, many quasars have these powerful jets of energy
Okay.
shooting out from their centers.
Uh-huh.
Bentov saw these jets as evidence of a continuous process, a kind of modest bang that's always happening,
Okay.
rather than a single initial explosion.
So instead of everything expanding outward
Yeah.
uniformly, he imagined a more dynamic universe with energy constantly emerging and then collapsing back in on itself.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
And the shape that best captured this dynamic flow was the torus,
Okay.
that donut shape.
The donut.
Imagine a white hole at one end of the torus, where matter and energy emerge,
Okay.
and a black hole at the other end,
Yeah.
where everything gets pulled back in.
A white hole and a black hole. It sounds like a cosmic recycling system.
That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
Matter and energy are constantly being recycled, refined, and transformed within this torus structure.
It's mind-blowing to think that this process could be happening on a universal scale.
It is pretty amazing, and this whole torus thing connects back to consciousness. Right?
It does.
Bentov believed that our galaxy, the Milky Way,
Uh-huh.
is positioned within this torus structure in a way that is particularly conducive to the expansion of consciousness.
Wait, so you're saying our location in the universe is actually influencing our consciousness?
That's what he believed. He saw a connection between the continuous flow of energy in the universe and the evolution of consciousness. He even suggested that our galaxy might be entering a phase of heightened awareness because of where we are within this cosmic flow.
So we're not just passive passengers on this cosmic donut, we're actively participating in its evolution.
Exactly, and this is where Bentov's personal experiences come into play. He described venturing beyond the torus, exploring different levels of consciousness in a way that was almost like taking a guided tour of the cosmos.
A guided tour, like someone was showing him around.
It was more like his consciousness was being guided. His questions were leading him to new insights and experiences. He described encountering multiple universes.
Wait, multiple universes?
Arranged in a spiral shape.
How many are we talking?
He saw 7 universes per rung of the spiral, and there were 7 rungs in total.
Oh my goodness.
That's 49 universes, and this spiral wasn't even the end of the journey on top of it. He saw a luminous shape resembling the Hebrew letter Aleph.
Hold on, Hebrew letters are showing up in the structure of the cosmos. How did he interpret that?
Remember, Bentov was blending his scientific background with mystical experiences. He saw these shapes not as literal letters,
Okay.
but as energy patterns,
Okay.
like cosmic blueprints of consciousness.
So it wasn't about the literal letter, but the shape itself.
Exactly. He believed these Aleph-like structures were like cosmic energy converters,
Okay.
taking high-frequency vibrations from higher realms
Okay.
and stepping them down to the physical level.
So these structures are helping to translate cosmic energy into a form that can manifest in the physical universe.
Precisely. And these Aleph structures were just the beginning. His journey took him even further, encountering spheres within spheres, clusters of universes, and even larger supercosmoses.
This is getting really complex. It's hard to even visualize all these layers, but did he say anything about what it all means?
He emphasized that each of these structures, from the torus to the supercosmoses, has a consciousness associated with it. He even described merging with these consciousnesses to understand their nature and purpose.
Merging with a cosmic consciousness, that's a pretty wild idea.
Yeah.
Did he ever say what the purpose of all this is? This constant creation and expansion?
He believed that the universe is constantly evolving, constantly becoming more complex and interconnected, and he saw the expansion of consciousness as an integral part of that process. It's like we're all contributing to this grand cosmic experiment,
Okay.
exploring the infinite possibilities of being.
So it's not just about understanding the structure of the universe, it's about understanding our place within it and our role in its evolution.
Exactly. And Bentov's journey through these cosmic structures ultimately led him back to himself, to a profound realization about the nature of the void, that primordial source of all creation. But that, my friends, is story 4, part 3 of our deep dive.
All right, listeners, we're about to get to the heart of Bentov's exploration the moment he confronts the ultimate source of reality. I can't wait to see what he finds there. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into the mind of Itzhak Bentov. I'm telling you, after our last conversation, I am seeing donuts everywhere.
No, it's pretty hard to shake that cosmic torus image once you've heard it.
It really is, but it's not just about the shape.
Right.
It's about the idea of continuous creation and transformation happening on a universal scale.
Absolutely.
And then we went even further,
Yeah.
exploring these multiple universes and cosmic consciousnesses that Bentov encountered in his expanded states.
Right.
It's almost too much for my brain to process.
I know, it's definitely a lot to take in.
It is.
But remember, Bentov's whole journey,
Okay.
all this cosmic exploration, ultimately led him to a very personal realization.
Okay.
He wanted to understand the source of it all,
Right.
the force behind this grand cosmic trauma.
So he was searching for the ultimate creator, like
Yeah.
the top god. What did he find?
He found himself, well, not literally at first.
Okay.
He described finding himself in the void,
Okay.
that infinite space beyond all the structures he'd encountered.
Right.
And then this incredibly bright light appeared,
Okay.
so intense that it blinded him.
Wow.
He knew in that moment
Yeah.
he was encountering the ultimate consciousness,
Okay.
the governing force of the whole shebang.
That must have been an overwhelming experience.
You can imagine.
So what happened next? Did he get to ask all his burning questions about the meaning of life?
Yeah, all the big questions.
And the universe?
It didn't quite go like that.
Okay.
He described peeking beneath the light
Okay.
and realizing it was a tunnel.
A tunnel of light.
A tunnel of light. He felt drawn into it.
Okay, so a tunnel of light, that's a pretty common image
Right.
in mystical experiences. Where did it lead him?
Well, that's where things took an unexpected turn.
Okay.
The tunnel made a U-turn. And at the end of it, he saw himself,
What?
an exact copy, sitting there seemingly unaware of his presence.
He traveled across multiple universes.
Right.
Through a tunnel of light.
Uh-huh.
And ended up back at himself.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway here?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
After all that exploration, the ultimate destination turned out to be his own inner self. It's almost as if the universe was saying, look within, the answers you seek are already there.
So it's not about finding God out there somewhere in the vastness of space.
Right.
It's about realizing the divine spark is within us all along.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Okay.
And it seems to align with Bentov's overall message.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to interact with this other self.
Right.
This ultimate reflection of his being.
Yeah.
So he did what he had been doing all along. He merged with it.
Merging with himself. How do you even begin to describe that experience?
He described it as slowly backing into himself.
Okay.
And as he did, there was a tremendous bang. And he became the void. He realized that the part of him that had never left the observer, the higher self, had always been the void.
Whoa, okay, my brain is officially glitching.
I can imagine.
So he dissolved back into the source, realizing that he was always a part of it.
Yeah, that seems to be the essence of his experience. He realized that his entire journey, all the cosmic exploration, had been a creation of his own consciousness.
Wow.
Like a divine play he was putting on for himself.
It's like we're not just characters in this cosmic story.
Right.
We're the authors, the directors, the actors, and the audience all rolled into one.
I love that analogy. And if that's the case, it puts a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
If we're creating our own reality,
right,
what kind of reality are we choosing to create?
That's a big question, and I think it's one that each of us has to answer for ourselves.
Yeah.
Bentov's journey gives us a framework, a way of understanding the interconnectedness of it all. Yes.
But ultimately, it's up to us to create the story we want to live.
Absolutely well said. I think that's the most valuable takeaway from Bentov's work.
Yeah.
It's not just a collection of fascinating ideas.
Right.
It's a call to action.
I like that.
To become conscious creators, to explore our inner landscapes, and to shape our reality with intention and awareness.
So what have we learned from diving deep into the mind of Itzhak Bentov?
A lot.
We've explored the mechanics of consciousness, the structure of the universe, and the very nature of reality itself. And it all leads back to this.
What's that?
We are not just passive observers.
Right.
We are active participants in the grand cosmic dance of creation.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. And I think Bentov would be thrilled to know that we're still grappling with his ideas, trying to make sense of this incredible interconnected reality we find ourselves in.
I think you would.
And hopefully, we're inspired to create a reality that reflects the best of who we are.
A reality filled with wonder,
yes,
compassion, and a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness of it all.
Beautiful.
Well, that's about it for this deep dive into the mind of Itzhak Bentov. Big thanks to our expert for helping us navigate this wild ride.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop questioning the nature of your